Weather back at 8:30 on a Friday morning. It is the 14th day of June 2002. Apologies from Al Roker. It's kind of a gloomy Friday morning, but as you can see, that hasn't stopped an enormous crowd of people from gathering outside Studio 1A here at Rockefeller Center. No doubt some of these people are here to see David Bowie performing live in concert in this half hour, and he's going to do just that in a few minutes.
It's true. If people are across the street, they're on 48th Street. Also across the street, they're on 49th Street. We are sandwiched. Huge crowd despite this terrible weather.
I came here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there were already people lined up here.
I know, and it's been drizzling all morning, so all of you people have hung with us, and we're glad. David Bowie has been a changeling in many ways. He's changed personas over the course of years. We're going to take a look back at his huge career in just a moment with a special tape before we actually see him perform.
All right, before we get to that, another chameleon, this one of the weather variety, has got a check of the weather. Mr. Roker?
Thank you very much. We've been all practicing our David Bowie fame part. Let's all go, fame, 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 fame. All right, let's check your weather, see what's going on. Your latest weather. Now back over to the platform and Mr. Matt.
All right, Mr. Roker, thank you very much. He has changed his look more times than a chameleon, but over the years, one thing has remained constant. David Bowie has always made great music. And before he takes the stage here in the plaza, we thought we'd take a look back at his legendary career. David Bowie, the chameleon. For more than 3 decades, he's continued to reinvent himself and his music.
I said that time may change me. Ground control to Major Tom.
It was 1969 when Bowie launched his first alter ego, Major Tom.
Major Tom.
The song Space Oddity became an instant classic.
Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. So where were the spiders?
3 years later, Bowie introduced the gender-bending plastic rock and roll singer Ziggy Stardust and ushered in the glam rock era. After Ziggy, Bowie took on other personas. Aladdin Sane is a pun for Alad Insane.
Was a young American.
He slicked back his hair and wore elegant suits as the suave, thin white Duke for the 1975 album Young Americans. The song Fame, a collaboration with John Lennon, became Bowie's first #1 single in the U.S. Bowie also broke into the movies with a role in the 1976 film The Man Who Fell to Earth. The story of an alien provided the inspiration for the album Station to Station, which critics call one of Bowie's best.
I hear the sound of melody.
But during the mid-70s, Bowie struggled with drug abuse. He went to Berlin to recover and wound up collaborating with musical innovator Brian Eno on a trio of electronica albums.
Sometimes you get sunlight late. Sometimes you get nowhere.
Scary Monsters and Super Creeps was Bowie's first album of the 80s.
Ashes to ash and fun to fire.
After a 3-year layoff, Bowie released Let's Dance in 1983. Bowie set the pace for the MTV 80s, but the middle-of-the-road appeal of his music left him feeling as if he was compromising his creativity.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
There's some artists that should work for their publics, and indeed they do work for their public. I don't. I'm very selfish. Tend to write and work for me.
Bowie formed the alternative pre-grunge rock band Tin Machine in 1986, but in 1992, Bowie decided to revive his solo career. In April of that year, Bowie wed his second wife, former supermodel Iman. Black Tie, White Noise was released a year later. When he turned 50 in 1997, Bowie gave a sellout birthday concert at Madison Square Garden. On Tuesday, Bowie's 25th studio album was released. It's called Heathen. He says its themes are much the same as that of all of his music.
Utter misery. It seems to be something that I gravitate towards all the time.
And the waiting is over. When we come back, Bowie live in concert. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Next time we meet, I will. I promise.
The Today Show Summer Concert Series is brought to you by me, the incredible Edible Ed.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, people. Ladies and gentlemen, David Bowie singing Fame!
Makes a man take things over. Hard to swallow. Tonight for tomorrow. Darling, the game, enough to send you totally inside.
Thank you very much. David Bowie, but first, this is Today on NBC.
David Bowie has just released his newest CD called Heathen, and as you might imagine, we're thrilled to have him here as part of our summer concert series. David, good to see you.
It's a great pleasure, man.
How do you describe the music on this new CD? I know you teamed up with Tony Visconti again. You did Scary Monster and Young American with him. So is it the same type of music or is it a different sound?
What we brought, I think we've got a signature style, I think, which is very much about atmospherics. But basically, it's an album of hopefully well-structured songs with individual, very characteristic atmospherics around each one.
I was curious because from what I hear, you haven't done any videos for this album, and I've always thought you did amazing videos, very kind of avant-garde videos. Why didn't you do that?
20 years ago, I used to enjoy doing videos. I don't think there's a market for my age group for videos. It's a new world, you know.
You see, you're hearing differently right now.
National television, it's much easier to kind of get word of mouth over, but with music specialized television, it's no longer the case. It's a different market. It's about 19, 20-year-olds.
Much has been made about the fact that you reinvented yourself over the years, created these personas. Is that time period past? Would you ever experiment with something like that again?
I'm going to become Henry Ford next week. I'm working on it.
I'd like to buy a Taurus.
The makeup
then,
is difficult.
What are you going to sing
You
for us
want to
now?
buy a Taurus?
Yeah, absolutely. They advertise on our
This
show.
man wants a Taurus. But wait, there's more.
What are you going to sing for us?
This is a track from Heathens. It's called Slow Burn.
Once again, David Bowie.
Terrible town with a right for our eyes shall squeeze them tight like a fist, and the walls shall have eyes and the doors shall have ears, and we'll dance in the dark while they play with our lives. And like a soul leading us on and on and on, like a soul turning us round and round and round, and we so small in times such as these, so the strangest of all. These are the nights, these are the darkest of all. But who knows, echoes in turning horns. Who knows, though the years may send them all. Like a soul leading us on and on and on and on, like a soul
Thanks very much.
And we're back with more Bowie on a Friday morning, but first, this is Today on NBC. Just a reminder, Mr. Bowie tours in late July with Moby, and right now he's about to do another song. The title sounds kind of familiar. Let's dance.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues to the song they play on the radio. Sway. While color lights up your face. Sway. Sway through the room to an empty space. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. 'Cause my love for you, it will break my heart in two. And you should fall into my arms, trembling like for fear of grace and for. Let's dance for fear this night is o'er. Let's sway. You can look into my eyes. Let's sway under the moonlight. The serious moonlight. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. 'Cause my love for you, it will break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms, trembling like a hey. Let's dance. Put on your red shoes.
Much more ahead on a Friday morning, including more from Bowie, right after these messages and your local news.
To the song they're playing on the radio.
While inside Studio 1A on a Friday morning, the 14th of June, 2002, fresh off of a couple of numbers, a few numbers from David Bowie,
What a thrill.
who is fantastic. I'm Matt. There he is right there, still playing around with the audience
Signing some
outside.
autographs.
He's cracking jokes out there.
He's a very nice guy. You know, he told me,
Affable
I felt
man.
bad. I said, gosh, I know you can't be used to getting up at this early. He goes, you know what, Matt, I get up at 5:30 every morning.
Yeah.
Iman and I
Because
go
the
into the
baby.
baby's room and wake the baby up.
There you go. And you know, he makes all his own clothes.
Anyway, I'm Matt Lauer along with Ann Curry, who's filling in while Katie's on vacation. Katie's back Monday. And leave you this morning with one. Thank you very much. One more song from David Bowie. Have a good weekend.
Sitting here wishing on a cement floor, just wishing I had just something you wore. I put it on when I go lonely. Won't you take off your dress and send it to me? Miss dress all wet and send it to me. Sitting here wishing on a cement floor, just wishing that I had just something you want. So bloody your hands on a cactus tree, wipe it on your dress and send it to me. Sitting here wishing on a cement floor, just wishing that I had just something you want.
This morning, the legendary David Bowie brought some new tunes to our summer stage.
Oh, hell, David Bowie, oh, hell.
David Bowie is coming up. I think you know that. And I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Get it while it's hot.
I am here to see David Bowie.
How you doing? Having a good time? God is in America. God is in America. God is in America. God is in America. I'm afraid of America. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of America. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of America. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of America. Thank you.
On today's Backstage Pass, David Bowie, known for his ever-changing styles and unpredictable music. With his new CD, the legendary rocker is now getting a big dose of reality.
Ground control to Major Tom.
He shot to stardom back in 1969 with his hit Space Oddity
Ground control to Major Tom.
and continued to break all molds and become a rock icon in the 70s.
Gene lives on his back.
With the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust, Bowie's concerts became performances with crazy costumes and elaborate sets. But don't expect to see that kind of theatrics this time around.
I'm not really very keen to put on much of a theatrical show, you know. Of course, it doesn't mean that I won't go back on my word, because that's, you know, part and parcel of what I do for you. It's part of my entertaining factor is lying to you.
Rebel, rebel, on your dress.
It's no lie that he defined rock in the 70s and continued to top the charts in the 80s with songs like Modern Love
Gets me to the church on time.
and Let's Dance.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Married to model Iman, he says he writes his lyrics with his 3-year-old daughter, Alexandria, in mind.
You little wonder, you.
I'm naturally drawn to a sort of a negative prognosis of our world. However, having a daughter, you can start looking at the world through her eyes, you know? And you want things to be more positive.
And at the age of 56, his writing hasn't slowed down. And neither has he. He's kicking off yet another world tour on October 7th in Copenhagen.
The band has been playing so well over the last few years. I really wanted to see how we work on a big adventure.
And a bit later, David Bowie sings for us out on the plaza, but first your local news.
The Toyota Concert Series on today. Get the feeling.
And now here's the man himself, David Bowie.
See the great black sky over Battery Park. Then the floodlights over, but I won't look at that sky. Oh, my nuclear baby, oh, my idiot trance, oh, my idiot
More from David Bowie in a minute, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Okay. Well, he has delivered more than 3 decades of fabulous music and a few interesting personas along the way, and now he's out with, it doesn't sound like it's possible, but his 26th studio album. It's called Reality, and he's getting ready for a world tour in October. David Bowie, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Thanks very much.
Let's start by talking about this album a little bit. I mean, you don't have to be from New York to love it, but boy, it sounds a little bit like a gift to New Yorkers. There's a lot of New York in this music.
It couldn't have been written in any other city, even though it's not about New York. It definitely has the resonance of what this town is all about to me. Yeah.
I mean, you live here. You said you like the energy here. I think you had a great expression. You said there's a sound to the sidewalks here. You can feel a twang when your foot hits the sidewalk. But coming from someone without a musical bone in his body, how do you get the energy of a city and make it work in a CD?
He's a really aggressive band, all from New York.
Are they really? These are all New Yorkers?
Apart from the Irishman.
The New York Times did a nice review of the CD, and they said it's meant to be played loud and live. What do you think they mean by that?
Well, it was written to be played live, for sure. I mean, because I very much had it in my mind that we were going to be touring this year extensively, so I had the idea of the energy of live performance. So I think it pretty much covers that ground.
In past, you've said that there's kind of a roadmap in some of your CDs, and they kind of lead the listener to a theme for each song.
That was, yes.
Yeah, that was,
I know.
Does this CD have that? No, he can't believe he even said that.
There's a lot of things I can't believe.
Right, I'm sure. We'll get to that. But does this have a theme from song to song?
No. It was written as a collection of songs at the early part of this year. But having said that, listening to the results of it, there definitely is, you get the residue of the tragic events that have happened to the city over the last few years. You can feel it within the album. But I hope that I'm putting a positive light on our situation as a fellow New Yorker, you know.
You've been here a lot of times, and let me couch this question by saying we love you. We're a huge fan of yours.
Go on, Matt, get it out.
You're so normal. You come into work at 5 o'clock this morning for rehearsal. You're married. You've got a child. Yeah, I mean, you're a typical hardworking 56-year-old now. When you look at some of the images of your past personas, the Ziggy Stardust...
I'm not a typical 56-year-old.
Well, wait a second.
I've read it in magazines. I'm not typical.
But when you look at some of these...
David Bowie is not a typical 56-year-old.
When you look at some of the pictures we're showing right now, David, do you ever look back and say, I was a little weird?
No, that's David, not typical Bowie.
You still feel those images inside you?
Yeah, after 7 o'clock in the evening, I often put some of that on. Yeah, all that clobber.
You're getting ready.
Red wig.
You're getting ready to go on a world tour in October. At this stage in your career, and it's the first time, what, in a decade?
This huge a tour, going to Singapore and Hong Kong and New Zealand and Australia.
Do you approach it differently than you did at other parts in your career?
Take a bigger skipping rope.
More working out in between shows?
Me.
What are you going to play now?
We're going to do a very old song called Modern Love.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, David Bowie.
I know when to go out, I know when to stay in, get things done. I catch the people, boy, things don't really change. I'm standing in the wind, but I never wave goodbye. But I try. There's no sign of life, it's just the power to charm. I'm locking in the rain, and I never wave bye-bye. But I try. Never gonna fall for walks beside me, walks on by, gets me to the church on time. Makes me party, puts my trust in God and man. No religion, no confessions, don't believe in modern love. Yeah. trust in God and man. No confession, no religion. Don't believe in modern love. Modern love. Thank you so much.
We're back on a Thursday morning. It's the 18th day of September 2003. That is music icon David Bowie, who's been very kind to stick around and say hi to some of his fans and autograph their hands out on the plaza. He just performed a special Thursday concert here on Today, and he's going to be back with one more number later on. So in case you missed the first two, stick around. We'll get more in just a little while. Inside Studio 1A, I'm Matt Lauer along with Katie Kirk, and coming up in this episode.
Think about it, God, better get a room, better take care of me. Again and again. Think about this and I think about my personal history. Better take care. Breathe real deep when the movie gets real and the star turns around. Again and again. Looks me in the eye, says he's got his mind on a countdown. 3, 2, 1. He's gonna be living until the end of time. Skies red sober till we're done, red skull, man, hands on, 'cause it's all over now. It's never gonna be enough money, never gonna be enough drugs, never ever gonna get old. It's never gonna be enough bullets, it's never gonna be enough sex, so we're never ever gonna get old, never ever gonna get high, but I'm never ever gonna get low, I'm never ever gonna get old. The moon floats up to the edges of the world because of you. Again and again. Well, I'm awake in an age of light, living it because of you. Better take care. Think about the future, solid as a rock because of you. Again and again. I wanna be here and I wanna be there, living just like you, living just like me. Burning on my nerves, gonna bury my bones in the marshland. Think about my soul, but it don't mean a thing, just the ring of the bell and the pure clean air. And I'm running down the street of life, and I'm never gonna let you die. And I'm never ever gonna get Thank you lots.